Alright, what's going on? Oops, did I bump that already? I'll try not to do that anymore. Alright, today we're going to go through all these old crazy ass flyers that I got during the 80s. Let's see if we can get them in there. There we go. Let's turn that up just there. They're from a variety of people who used to make these handouts at the shows, and this was basically like a blog or a website or YouTube or however you got Instagram, however you get all your information. Now, this is how we did it back then for all the stuff for the shows that you couldn't go to in between the ones that you could. So this one, we'll start out with this because this is always good. Michael, it's spelled the European way, Mikkel, like Mikkel Bang, the pro snowboarder, but he passed away sadly, I believe in 1985, and he was only like 36 years old. But he put out these stickers. He gave out these stickers at all the shows always, and then after he passed away, people started to make this flyer called Saint Michael. And it just would have all these little things about people's envelopes and stickers, like, look, there's an envelope right there. And then I have this same envelope that someone sent me a letter on back in the day. And it would stickers and a variety of different stuff, like the Great Bullet Hotline for a good time call, 415-457-6388. And I'm sure everyone from the 80s has got that stuck in their brain. That number is burned in people's heads. And all little stickers, like these are all stickers that were on tour, like these We Will Survive ones were really awesome. And then people would just mash up all this stuff. This is at December 86, so these are the St. Michael ones that people put out in his memory. And then you open them up, and these are all letters from people from all over the place. Set lists, all the different stuff that happened, the show lineups. Here's letters from people. And then back here is another addition to that by a guy named Jeff Rosen, who people would amend the Michael lists and keep them going, and this was to Michael people from Jeff Rosen. So this guy would make his own version of the Michael flyer and hand it out to keep Michael's voice alive. Cool ass stuff. I just realized right now that this envelope was also on the Michael flyer. I did not know. Dupree's Diamond News, another super cool one. Cool name, cool logo, and this lady Sally was the editor, and these are all the tour dates coming up, and these are the ones that were supposedly happening way before you could look online and have everything at your fingertips. And when was this one put out? July of 87. And then they'd even say, free handout, please do not litter. But nobody would throw these on the ground unless, you wouldn't pick it up. Or you would pick it up if it was on the ground. Which I probably did, because some of them are kind of hammered. So that's, this is Red Rocks Telluride. So these are, a lot of the times, the Dupree's Diamond News were done for a tour. So you would get one, if you went on the Red Rocks Telluride tour or those two shows together, you would get a flyer. If it was a singular show where there were no other shows around it that close, they would just do like Anaheim, which is this one. That's another repeat of that one. What was this one? Oh, this was out east. So that's Providence. That was a great tour. 87 was a great year. On the back are all the set lists from the previous tours, like Telluride, Compton Terrace, Mountain Air, and Calaveras. This was killer. Carlos Santana and Jerry just blasting licks off each other. Just so epic. Such a great fucking show. More Dupree's. This is Lancaster, Maryland. So that's September 87 on that same tour. Oh, the Spectrum, Philly. Some of my best shows, my favorite shows rather, ever. This whole tour, I saw every single show, and I was so hyped. It was just so good. 87 was such a blast. But there's all kinds of little stuff on here, like every once in a while, like, we've received information and complaints about different things, and this is it. there was some interest in the Dead playing China. If you're thinking about going to China, which never materialized, unfortunately. Let's see, where's this one from? Oh, this is Oakland, Henry J. Kaiser, and this is 88 February. And I've got like flights and stuff all penciled in on the sides from back in the day. Henry J. Kaiser, March 88. So these are they did a lot of stuff in the spring of 88 at Kaiser. Yeah, this one's all blown out. This is probably like people's phone numbers. I just tore them off, wrote stuff down, or maybe there's some kind of Shem's restaurant had a coupon or something like that in here. If that, yeah, that's Kaiser. And then the Greeks, July 88. I think that was the year of the soccer fields, which kind of sucked. But they at least opened up the soccer fields for people to sit around in if you couldn't get into the Greek. Oh yeah, here's just little notes and stuff. Dupree's Diamond News Notes. All the Greek shows will be aired on KPSA radio station. Just different stuff like that. And then Dead Ahead, which is, speculative stuff. Tentative, unconfirmed tour dates. But just cool stuff in general. I always loved Dupree's Diamond News. And, you would read this kind of stuff as you drove from show to show. This was like your, looking up whatever your stuff is on Instagram or whatever, just to figure it out. It helped you pass the time, even though it was pretty easy to read through them. But at least, you could read through them 6, 8, 10, or 12 times. And we did. What else? Oh, Unbroken Chain. These are cool. Like, all of them were hand-drawn, pretty much, by different people. And, same thing, just a flyer with letters and all Xeroxed, just, down at Kinko's. You lay it out on a piece of paper, you tape it down, take it to the Kinko's, print it up. Jerry and Bob, West LA Fadeaway. Can't read your name, but whoever you are, that's cool. Another Unbroken Chain, August 87. This other one was Volume 1, Number 2, Spring 86. This is Volume 2, Number 6, and I think I have a couple of these in here. But yeah, looks like Laura is the editor of this, I believe. And this one's much more elaborate than some of the other ones. There's little comics in here, and people have different columns. Latest album, like stuff from the newspaper. Latest album, a dead hit. Dylan Dead stuff. Set lists. Chain Reaction. More letters. Chain Reaction is their letters comment thing. A comic called Hippie House. Say, brother, have you seen my massive quantity of liquid LSD? I poured it in that empty beer bottle. That's what I thought. Quick, put on some Grateful Dead. That's a good one. I don't even remember reading that one. Alright. Richmond, Virginia is where Unbroken Chain came from. There's a copy. If someone wants one, I'll send you a copy. And then there's another one, September, October, yeah, with a great Bobby drawing on the front. Very trippy. This one only is the fold out, doesn't have the insert or the secondary page inside like the other one did. But yeah, God, this tour was crazy. Providence, the Garden, Philly, out to Shoreline, down to Long Beach, and then BCT. Very cool. It's on the back. Oh yeah, the Rocky Mountain Tour set list like the other ones had. And then, oh yeah, Jerry going to Broadway. Grateful Dead guitarist to make Broadway scene. I did not go to those shows. I saw all the West Coast acoustic Jerry shows. But the Broadway ones would have been cool because they did, on a lot of them, 3 matinees a day like they do at when they put on a play. So you would get to see Jerry in the afternoon, in the early evening, and then at the late show, which would have been just fucking killer. Okay, this was this guy, Cowboy Neil, that used to be an old friend of mine. No idea where he is. He made these. This is a little bit off the beaten path, but he made these cool. His name's down in here, Cowboy Neil in the corner. Made these cool cassette things, but he did them backwards. So when you folded it, the skulls were upside down when you wanted to write it, the way you looked at your cassettes. So I had to untape them and make some more. So Cowboy Neil, there's a good thing for you, or a good memory of you. Here's another one. Cowboy Neil moved to Taiwan and started this whole Taiwanese Deadhead scene. And this was their symbol, even though it seems a little out of, like, not that cool these days because it's the way, just where we are now. Everybody loved it. He moved there. He ended up marrying a lady from there. This is from '84, but the Journal of a Deadhead in Taiwan. And this is announcing his wedding, and this is Deadhead in Taipei, and this girl with a dead shirt on, and he's just got all this cool stuff, like, okay, here we go. They had their own logo, the few, the proud, the Taiwan Deadheads, wear your mark of distinction. Like, he really got this going. Like, he'd do his message board, he'd say hi to all his friends, here's my name down here, like we'd talk back then. And he would send us this from Taiwan. And I wonder whatever happened to him. If you're out there, Neil, let me know what's going on. There's a nice little letter from him on the back. But yeah, very cool, because he was spreading the word in the mid-'80s, early '80s, around the globe, and getting the Dead known, and probably in places where they probably were not that known. I know there's a lot of Japanese Deadheads. I know there's huge core, but I'm not sure about Taiwanese Deadheads or Korean Deadheads. These are cool. These are oh wait, let's get to this first. This is a company that made stickers, another handout at the shows, but it was Club Dead, and it was the antidote for civilization, or the antidotes for civilization. They spelled dose with a Z, but you could order these. I ordered some. These guys would send them to you, and they'd have them on the road. It was this fun, cool thing. They had cool logos. You could get that t-shirt. People had that shirt for a long time, wore it around. Guys, Jay Mulligan, Club Dead. Where you at, Jay Mulligan? Still in Phoenix? Let's see, what else? Oh, here's another Summer Tour 88s. This was just stuck to the back of that one, but Alpine Valley, all the way to Oxford Plains, Maine, rather. Whole bunch of 6 set lists. Lots of Hey Pocky Ways. Bunch of cool shit going on in 1988. Let's dip back a little bit. This is I'm gonna frame this, but this is a rejection letter for New Year's Eve. We are very sorry to inform you that the Grateful Dead concert on December 31st, 1983, New Year's Eve, is completely sold out. There will be no tickets at the door. Then they go on to tell you it's going to be on National Public Radio and all that, and you can still listen. But this is what you used to get, and your money would come back, and your cool dolled up envelope, all nice and tricked out, that you drew by hand, and you'd still get rejected sometimes. But the next year, I got into this one anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But here, look at that for a second. Melissa, my old friend Melissa, got me into that anyway, so those are my first New Year's '83. And then '84, I did get my tickets, so this is what happens when you got them. You get all the information, need a place to stay, all that, showtime 8 p.m. And these were all the shows, December 28th, 29th, and 31st, the year they just did 3 in 1984. So you would get a nice little letter if they actually sent you your tickets. And there's more stuff like on the back, like restaurants, vegetarian restaurants, The Amazing Grace and The Haven, Veggie Food Inc., late night spots like Wolfgang's, which is in the Great American Music Hall in the Stone. Dead did that 75 for one of their comebacks, one of the best shows ever, I think, and one of the best sounding shows ever. The Stone, that's where Jerry came back and did his triumphant return shows after he was super sick. Wolfgang's, obviously, Bill Graham's club in the Bay for years. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then when speaking of Jerry and the Stone, this is the music event of the year. They said Ranch Rock 86 is on. Pyramid Lake, they did a healing benefit. It was sort of billed as for Jerry when he was sick. So they went out in the desert below Reno, and Kingfish, Mickey and the Daylights, Problem Child, Robert Hunter, Zero, even though Zero isn't on this band, they were a late addition, and some other bands all got together. They all jammed together at different times. Mickey sang Fire on the Mountain because he originally did it on his Rolling Thunder album. I think it was, like, was it called the Pump Song, or was that what Playing in the Band was called? Anyway, but all these people just fucking ripped, and it was way out in the desert. I was on crutches. Every time I'd walk, I would just sink in like 8 inches. But it was incredible. So yeah, this is the flyer that they gave you. The poster that was with this is all green and hand drawn and beautiful, and it was totally misleading. It was way the fuck out in the desert. The poster looks nothing like what Pyramid Lake looked like, but it's an amazing spot, and it's where the Truckee River flows into from the mountains. So way out in the desert, we went to Ranch Rock in 1986, and a couple months later, Jerry was well again and started playing, and then the Dead went back on the road at the end of 86. At least in San Francisco. And then in early 87, it was totally back on the road. Alright, so that's kind of a little go through. I hope everybody's having a great day, and hopefully this comes out. I like doing this stuff. It's super fun. I hope you enjoy it too. If you want to share stuff with me, please do. Comment, and we'll go from there. Enjoy your day.